This is my 3D game college assignment, and this is the 3D game I produced. First of all, just a note, this will be a multiple part series because there's quite a lot to it, but I'll start by showing off the map and then the actual gameplay and then the animations and character. Alright, so to start, we have this world with assets used which came from the Four Seasons asset pack, which is free. It's just a very simple world, all low poly, got a low poly theme apart from the AI because I couldn't find a good enough model to use for that. But yeah, it all follows a simple theme, and disregard this little platform up here because this is the AI testing area. Alright, so I'll start by showing off the game itself. So just disregard this big rock here for a second, I'll make a bit more sense in a second. So firstly we have the character. He can walk around, jump, hit, and there's also a dancing animation, which is just to test interrupting all animations. I'll just get away from this AI quickly. So yeah, he can walk around. As you can see, he'll start to speed up as you walk. He'll go from slow and then start running, which is using a blend space. If he's moving, he'll do a running jump. He's stationary, the stationary jump, and yeah, the attack. The attack can be used while moving. Sorry about this clipping with the tree. Yeah, very simple. I'll just kill this AI quickly. I'll talk about them more in a sec. Ah, you got me. In fact, I'm just gonna move this AI all the way back. Or just, yeah. There we are. Right, so yeah, the hitting animation is a bit strange in the head because it's designed for him to be stationary while attacking, but I thought it looked quite funny anyway, so I keep it. So yeah, I made this character myself, textured him myself, very simple character, just wanted to have a little low poly robot just to test with, and made the weapon myself. All the animations came from Mixamo, and as well as the rigging and skeleton, all of that's from there. But apart from that, I've took all these components and built this. So, without further ado, I'll just show you the AI. So I have some AI in this game, and their task is to basically kill you no matter what. They'll start throwing fireballs at you if they spot you, and they'll always try and spot you, basically. If they can't see you anymore, they'll mark the last known location, and then try and run up to you. So you see this one, he can't really reach me anymore. So if I hide behind this rock, they should both run towards me. There we go. And now they got to a position where they can see me. So can see player is now ticked. And yeah, I can attack them by swinging my sword at them, and if the sword collides with their collision box, they'll get a hit, and they'll die after 2 hits. I can also parry projectiles back at the enemy for like a instant kill move. So I'll try and display that. It's quite hard to do. There we go. And what happened there was I had a projectile coming towards me. I swung the sword. It collided with the projectile's spherical collision box. And what it did was it destroyed the first projectile coming towards me, and then spawned a new one in the direction I'm facing. So in the ideal world, it will just go back in the direction it came from, but it took up quite a lot of project time, so I decided to cut it short. But it still works very well. I'm not at all disappointed with it. If I can try and do it over here, it's very hard to do, and it's meant to be. Anyway, if you get hit 4 times, you'll do that collapsing animation and then explode, and then all the AI on the map will start doing this little dance as a little interrupt. So yeah, obviously the dance is silly, but it's just to test out how I can set all the animations on the map to something if a certain condition is met. Same with the dancing, just to interrupt all animations, and it even kind of progresses into it. But yeah, so this is the game. I'll try and get parry for you. It is very, very difficult. today. Right, so that's me dead. And if you've been noticing, there is a print string little area up in the top left corner, just showing what kind of variables are being set at what times. See player hit. So if you go back in the video and want to actually properly see what's going on each time, you can just pause it on each of them. So the AI isn't perfect. It doesn't rotate properly at this current moment. It will kind of just snap to your location. So I'll just try and show you that. So there you go, just snapped. And that'll be something I'd work on if I had more time in the project, obviously. But apart from that, the pathfinding's pretty good, by all means. It doesn't interact with other AIs very well, and they do start to kind of clump up. But it's fine how it is right now. There we go. And obviously I've got all these particle effects when I'm hitting them. Very over the top, but it's kind of how it's meant to be. So I'm not going to be able to parry today. Anyway, so that's the basis of my game. Got AI, attacking, movement systems all set up inside a map. Advanced combat with the parrying. It's a good little start, and it's a nice little foundation for whatever else I decide to make. And obviously these characters, the enemies, don't really fit very well in the map with the style, but they're just kind of a placeholder for anything else. I mean, their code could be used for... It was originally meant to be used for shooting, like a shooter game, so it could be changed to that. But I thought a little wizard or magician kind of throwing fireball would be a nice start. Anyway, the first part I did in this project was to make a character. And what did I do for that? Well, I made this odd looking robot to begin with. And this is my start, untextured obviously, and not even finished with the hands. But this is the start of my project, and this is the first idea I came up with. I wasn't always going to use Mixamo. I tried to, I was probably going to animate my character myself and rig it myself, but obviously that's very difficult and very time consuming, so once I found Mixamo I thought it was kind of a godsend. It saved me a lot of time. But even with this model I wasn't really feeling how it looked, so I decided to change for a bit more of a cartoony looking character, and this is what I came up with. So here's my little robot. He's got pretty good geometry for by all standards. It could be a little bit better in certain areas like the neck. Well, the neck's alright, but just kind of under here it's I don't know, very sharp. It's okay, but and you can't really notice any problems with the rigging, but maybe if you did some more advanced moves you might have some problems with it. But regardless, he works pretty fine for a nice little placeholder, very low poly. I textured him in 3ds Max. You can't see it right now because it's the wrong file version, but you'll see it next in Mixamo. So yeah, that's my character I came up with. Nice little start. And now I'll show you how I actually rigged him and made him into the character that he is in the game. So firstly, I imported the final model into Mixamo, and here is how it turned out. And what you do is you kind of assign little nodes along the body for where the program will kind of guess to implement bones. Now this might not go perfectly, but I'll try and do it to the best of my abilities just for a demo. And it's important to show this because it's quite an integral part of my project, and it took a lot of time to get the character movements all set up. And without Mixamo, it probably wouldn't have been, you know, the game it is right now. So there we go. I've got all the correct joints rigged up, and now it will scan it. I'll show you the asset pack I used for all the animations. I didn't download the pack at first. At first I kind of just picked and chose, but there was a single character I kept using in all of his animations, and it was meant to be a person holding an axe, but it kind of worked fine for my big kind of clumsy sword swinging, and it was alright for how it was. So yeah, now that's just rigging. What's up with it? I think the groin was a little bit out of place. There we are. Is that all happy? Right. Just to give you a little bit of an overview of the kind of code we got, is a lot of testing went into this, all kinds of things. There was a absolute nightmare at sometimes. But I kept it rather organised, and it all turned out pretty well in the end. So the enemy himself has got various other things. He's got his own blueprints, his own textures, his own all this kind of things. And there's only 3 animations for the enemy himself. The animations for my character, on the other hand, I have tons in reserve, just in case I wanted to add them all. But in the end, I didn't really use many of them just to start with. But you see the kind of things that I could use in the future: turning left, walking. They all work, coming straight from Mixamo. In fact, I used this one. There we are, just jumping. Sorry about the frame rate, by the way. In the actual game, it does run a smooth 60 FPS, but it's just the recording quality. So you have to use your imagination, I'm afraid. Anyway, here's the final product. It has got this strange auto-smooth look about it, but that doesn't kind of feed into the actual game, so it's not a big issue. And I've done this pretty well, actually, so you can kind of... This is probably identical to how it was in the game. Obviously, probably wouldn't be able to use any animations imported through this one because it's going to make the skeleton a little bit different, but I haven't tried that, and I probably wouldn't want to. Anyway, once you got it in here, you can literally just click on an animation. What's a better one, actually? Let's do this jumping animation. There you are, and it just animates it perfectly, all sorted out for you. So the ones I used were the Axe character. I'm not quite sure his name. Yeah, Pro Melee Axe Pack. And I'll try and find one of the animations I actually used. Well, I downloaded this one because I was expecting to have an unsheathed sword at all times, but I decided not to go with that. And he's got various attacks, and you can speed him up, which is probably what I would do. And very simple. So what you do then was, for your first animation, you would download it with the skin so that you can get the skeleton, the ragdoll, all of that stuff. I put it to 60 frames per second each time, and yeah. And then I would probably do without skin for all the other ones, just so you don't clutter up your files each time by importing the skin over and over and over. So yeah, that was the start, and that was the first one. So what I then did was I imported it all into here. The first one got imported into this outside one, and that was the standing idle animation, and you see it's got the skeleton and what's that, the skeletal mesh, and all the textures as well that first time. But after that, if you just download it without skin, you just get the animation, which is quite nice because then you can just add whatever you need each time. And as soon as you assign it to the what's it called, the correct skeleton, it works perfectly each time. And that's a very, very quick and easy way to get, you know, these animations straight into your game. See what crashed to idle. If given more time on the project, I'd love to implement all of these more, but just getting jumping and walking and all that sorted out was quite time consuming on its own. I mean, you can understand why there's multiple jobs just for this one kind of animation section of a game. But yeah, I even got equip and unequip kind of things, so that could be great to do in the future. I'd love to do that. But yeah, so that's the basis of my game. That is the game, I suppose. Oh, there we go, got parry, and it works really nicely, the parry. Obviously, if I look in the wrong direction while parrying, it will not work. It's quite hard to test this because you need to be really good at parrying. I think in the future, if I was going to test this, I'd just like leave a sword or a few swords standing there and just have it set to parry all the time. But yeah, that's the start, and in the next video I'll probably go into the animations and adding the blend space and setting up all my state machines, well, the state machine for the character and all the states.